I was on a ball Earth, I should never be able to see this because it's just ridiculous. This evidence right here is going to show you what extreme refraction does and what extreme atmospheric conditions can do to light around an obstruction, a curved obstruction. This simulates what the colder environment does increasing the refractive index of the circle. Yeah, well, it's waiting on the video to play. All right, so as the butane is poured on there, simulates a denser atmosphere, which is PV equals nRT. Temperature and pressure both are the same. As temperature goes down, the pressure decreases, the atmosphere becomes more dense, and this will, of course, increase the refractive index. So this is what we're seeing here, is seeing something that you should not be able to see unless light actually bent around a corner. And it's simply no magic involved, just simply changing the temperature of the air or the density of the air that the light is traveling through.
I haven't seen what you're talking about happen. When does that happen?
Well, here, you know what? I'll just show you on my phone, so that way there's no question and we don't have to look through it through a stream.
Yeah, I'm not seeing this object disappear behind the curve and then come back when you pour the butane on top of it.
You're not looking hard enough because I'm about to show it to you right now. Okay, see, but you saw the object. It had multiple colors, right? Green, red, yellow. Can't see that now. Can't see behind the curve of this butane tank or propane tank, whatever kind of tank that is. Now watch when it gets put on there. Tell me what colors you see.
How do you know it's not just splitting the colors of the top of the butane tank?
Are you telling me that that's not on the thing before? You can't see it before? You don't see the red just rising up to the top?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the red, but you can't see, you see a small sliver.
You shouldn't be able to see any of it. You shouldn't be able to see any of it. That's what I'm saying. Light bent is... Okay, so regardless of how much he says, I should or should not be seeing it, would you like to see it on camera? I don't have a problem with you seeing it.
But you didn't take an object that was behind the Earth curve and bring it back fully visible.
Okay, so what I've said on multiple occasions, and I'll continue to say it again, until you prove that that's not possible on the round Earth, I'm not going to accept that it's positive proof or exclusive proof for the flat Earth. Okay. It's not how it works. You've got to prove to me that it's impossible for that to be an observation that we can possibly see on a globe Earth. Then you're working with something. Until then, you're just working with this observation. And like I said, I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything, but it's an uneducated and uninformed observation that you're just pointing out and saying this is evidence for
How big is the Earth and how much Earth curve should we see?
That's irrelevant.
Well, how big is it? What do you mean, how is that irrelevant?
I just explained to you on why you can see distances further than what you think you should be able to see due to atmospheric conditions. So until you make a more defined question and say, how much should I see on this temperature with this much pressure and at this height? I mean, what observation height? You know what? Hey, look down on the ground. Put your eyeball on the ground, and guess what? The entire Earth curves away from you at that point. When you make your viewer height 0 feet, how high is your viewer height? Of course, how far should I see? How far should we see, Nathan? Tell me. On our model, how far should we see?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
No. Tell me. You're the one debunking. You obviously know what I believe.
I'm trying to learn what your model is. Also, the audience might not know what your model is.
You're trying to learn it now. What are you doing here? You're
I also want to clarify for the audience.
It's wrong. So tell me how I'm wrong.
I don't want to talk about beliefs. Okay? I want to clarify for the audience, how big is your ball-tilted Earth in space?
It has a circumference of about 25,000 miles.
Excellent. So at 10 miles, at 10 miles, how much Earth curve should we see, Team Skeptic?
See, that's how ignorant your question is, because you're not giving me a viewer height. You're not giving me anything.
At sea level.
At sea level. Okay, so
how much should Earth drop downward in 10 miles with zero observer height?
There's an equation out there that is...
It's 8 inches per mile
no,
squared.
it's not 8 inches per mile squared. Can you please plot out what 8 inches per mile squared is on the fucking graph, and then show the world what 8 inches per mile squared looks like on the graph, and tell me that that's what I believe the shape of the fucking Earth is?
What do you want me to use? AutoCAD, Sagitta, or Pythagorean theorem?
Any goddamn thing out there. Just plot out what 8 inches per mile squared. Let's see how mathematically literate you
Sure.
are.
Which one do you want me to use? Sagitta,
Whatever you want to use, pick whichever one you want. Plot out on a graph what the graph looks like at 8 inches per mile squared, please, and show the people of here how smart you are and how that's what I believe the Earth looks like.
Okay, so
You're about to look dumb as fuck, by the way.
According to Sagitta, at 10 miles, we would see 66.69 feet of Earth curve. According to Pythagorean theorem.
According to. Do the fucking math, Nathan. Plot it out. I asked you to do something. Plot out that particular equation on a graph and tell me that that looks like a globe Earth.
That's not a graph.
I just asked
Graph
at
it.
10 miles.
Plot the graph.
Nathan,
Plot
that's
the
not a graph.
Hold
At 10
on,
miles.
please, everybody.
Yeah, I just asked at 10 miles how much.
Plot it
Earth
out.
should
Plot
we
out the
see?
graph. No, plot out what you just said. 8 inches per mile squared. Plot that out on a graph and tell me that I believe the Earth looks like that. Please.
Okay, so at 10 miles, you did a blink test at 24 miles.
Do you? I didn't do it. Red's Rhetoric did. Yes. And time out. Do you know what the shape of the fucking graph is going to be at 8 inches per mile
So
squared?
the blink
Are you
test-
that literate?
Wow.
You're here to prove me wrong. Are you that literate?
Give Nathan a chance to make his case.
Yeah, the blink test. How much Earth curve did we view on Red's Rhetoric blink
There
test?
wasn't a measurement of how much Earth curve was there. What was measured was to show that when you get up closer and you don't have the obstruction and you compare those two things, it's quite obvious that something is in the way when you're 24 miles away. That's not in the way when you're just across the bay.
Did they have waves?
They weren't even in the fucking picture. They weren't even, the waves doesn't matter. What, do you even understand how perspective works now? Do you even understand that if you're looking at, okay, I'm going to explain something to you for everybody that's dumb enough to use this argument of perspective. When your eye level is this high, for something, no matter how fucking far away it gets, for something to obstruct it more, it has to be above that. Do you understand that?
Not
No,
necessarily.
yes, absolutely fucking necessary. It's in the goddamn graph right
Depends
there.
on your angle of attack.
Let's hear the case or decide from.
Just relax, bro. It's okay.
I'm not-
We're gonna give cartoon globe religion.
I want you to
Come on.
do, I want you to wrap it out.
So, if you do have a depiction of the graph, okay, so if you have a graph.
No, I was just asking you, Earth curve at 10 miles. If it's a ball, like you said, 25,000 miles around, you can plug it into AutoCAD.
I'll answer your
At
question.
10 miles, there should be a vertical drop. Yeah, please stop interrupting while I dismantle your globe religion. Okay? So, at 10 miles, the Earth should drop vertically if we're on a globe. No matter what, okay? The Earth would have to drop vertically, tangent to your feet, if the Earth is a globe. We do not observe a tangent vertical drop to our feet anywhere. That's why you can see Mount San Jacinto from 123 miles. You got a 20-mile blink test. I raise your 20-mile blink test to 123
All right,
miles.
back to what I was
And the
saying at
entire
the
thing,
beginning.
please don't interrupt. We let you rant and run around and dance around and show your videos for quite some time,
I'll
okay?
give you a little bit.
Yeah. So Earth curve at 10 miles. An answer. Do we have an answer for how much vertical drop we should see from sea level for Earth curve at 10 miles? Team Skeptic.
Do you want me to give you your calculation at 8 inches per mile squared? Because that's not a fucking.
I
I'm
need
still
a
waiting for you.
numerical
Hold on.
value
How
for
would
how
you even
much
know? Hey, how about
Earth
this? I could
we
just make
should
up a
see
fucking number, Nathan. You
at
have
10
no idea
miles.
whether I was right or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
You
could
could
just
just
make
make up a number
That's
for
right.
how
You
much
know
Earth
what?
curve we
You know
should
why?
see.
You know?
One second.
You could just make up a number for how much Earth curve there is.
1 second.
Fancy.
It's fair. I think it is fair. It's like if I think both sides in this case have asked like kind of for the specifications for the case at hand, and so I think that's okay. So what I want to do is I think Team Skeptic was asking for like specifications, which I think is both sides have asked for, and that's a fair question. So we'll let him ask the question, and then we'll
So-
come right back to the comments.
Nathan wants to know what the trigonomic answer to a question is that he just throws out and goes, oh, well, you can't answer that. Yeah, I don't have a trigonometry calculator on me to do all the trigonomic fucking functions that I can't do in my fucking head because you want to use a basic simplified equation of 8 inches per mile squared, and I'm still at this point asking you, do you even know what the shape is of the graph of that equation? Do you? Yes or no?
So you're asking?
Yeah, I'm asking, do you know this?
Yeah, it's a parabola.
Then why the fuck are you using it?
Because it's
That's
accurate.
fucking stupid.
Because it's,
Let's
Again,
give him a chance to respond.
because it's,
trying to use an equation that's none of. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
because it's accurate up to 1,000 miles.
How
And
would
you're
you
not
even
doing? Well, because I've got the AutoCAD, the Pythagorean theorem, and the Sagitta right
Are
here.
you telling
and
me you
won't
don't
pay
know how to
attention.
do the equations yourself?
Let's just.
No, I do. You don't know. Because I asked you how much curve we should see at 10 miles, and you didn't know.
How much should we see? How much should we do that? No, don't look there. Tell me how much we should. No,
It's easy.
stop.
666.
Oh, 666. And how did you come up with that, Nathan?
I
How
didn't
did you
make
come-
up
No,
the
how did you
curve.
come up with
I
that
think
number?
it's flat.
How did you come up with that number? What
I didn't
equation
go
did you
math.
use? No, what equation did you use?
You gave the
And hit the
measurements.
equation right now.
You
Don't
gave the
avoid my
measurements.
question.
You gave the measurements.
Don't
for the
avoid my
globe.
question.
It's your measurements.
Hold on.
You told me it's a globe 25,000 miles around.
Hold
Einstein.
on a second.
Okay?
He does. He's
So I
asking,
used your
hold on a
measurements.
second. He's asking for the equation, which like it seems relevant. So it's, let's give him a chance. He's asked for the equation.
Don't look for the answer. Give me the equation. Do the math
According
for
to
me right now.
Pythagorean theorem, it's 8 inches per mile squared. And that's
You
accurate
are
up.
so dumb.
And that's accurate up to 1,000 feet. That's just an add-on
I don't care if it breaks. I don't care if you want to call it an atom or not. You're using an equation that is not even relevant to the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
Jesus. You mean to say that your pizza Earth is flying through space up like this? Wouldn't that be a straw man? Wouldn't that be me telling you something that you don't believe in? Well, guess what? I don't think the Earth's a parabola.
You think it's 25,000
Guess
miles
what?
around, though,
I
right?
don't think it's a fucking parabola.
You
So stop
think it's
using these
25,000.
parabolic equations and saying, this is what I believe, because guess what? You're fucking wrong.
AutoCAD's not a parabolic equation. AutoCAD's a program that they use to make engineering parts.
Okay, so you don't know what you're talking about. You're just reading numbers from somebody else and believing them. Yes?
But the AutoCAD-
Yes or no? Are you
the
doing that?
AutoCAD
Yes or no?
matches
Are
the
you doing that?
Pythagorean
Yes or no?
No,
You're
no.
not. Oh, you did this yourself.
Yeah, you
You
can
went
do
out
this
and
math
measured it
yourself.
yourself. Oh yeah, I believe that. Where's your fucking
You can do
evidence for
spherical
that?
trigonometry on a paper. You don't have to go
Then why
outside.
the fuck do you think that the sun is where it is in the sky? If you can do all this trigonomic equations, how can you look up in the sky and say, oh, it's flat? Because guess
I'm
what?
not
The
talking
position
about
of
the
the sun in the sky, with all this trigonometry thing that you're actually saying that you know how to do to prove the shape of the earth and how much curvature and drop it is, those same functions tell you that where the position of the sun is in the sky makes your position absolutely false. And there's no way to fucking say, oh yeah, but the position of the sun in the sky absolutely proves that the earth is flat. Oh yeah, really? We've done the fucking test.
Can we get back to Earth curve?
That's what I'm talking
Jeez
about.
Louise,
That's
dude.
what I'm talking about.
Can you relax and take a seat?
No. That's fine.
I know your global religion's melting. It's 2020 and you still need to live on a tilted
Give Nathan
cartoon.
a chance, straw man, to respond. So if we, just like, because there were a lot of questions, fair questions, just to make sure that Nathan has plenty of time to respond before we do it.
Yeah. So you can do the math, or you could plug a 25,000 mile round ball, which is not a straw man argument, because that's what you told me the size of the ball is, into AutoCAD. You can use Sagitta or Pythagorean theorem. They'll all give you the same amount of earth curve for up to 1,000 miles. The reason I use that equation is because nobody's doing sight distance observations over 1,000 miles. So if it's accurate up to 1,000 miles for earth curve, we can use it for observations being done less than 1,000 miles. I think your sight distance test was 24 miles, which is much less than 1,000 miles. Mine right here is 123 miles. This is Mount San Jacinto, done with infrared. Shout out Jay Tolan. Now the problem with this is that entire mountain in the background should have disappeared behind Earth curve. Now you would think it did disappear because you can't see it. But when you turn on the infrared, it cuts through some of the atmospheric conditions, only picking up the infrared signature, and you can see the mountain is completely there.
Are you under the impression
Now-
that infrared light doesn't experience refraction? That all electromagnetic light doesn't experience refraction? Do you think that...
Let's just give him a chance to respond to that one. Let's come back.
Okay, so your argument is that
Pause. Okay.
Okay, so